Hi, if anyone's in the group right now, I am testing out to make sure that this is working. Hello, this is Susan Epstein, and I am in the Coaching Business Mastery Facebook group. I'm going to just refresh my page. There I am. Super cool. Looks like somebody's there. You can type in the Q&A box or right under the video and say hello and let me know that you're there. And I will know that this is working and that somebody is here to hang out with me today. And I am a couple of minutes early, so please just hang out with me. We're going to talk about groups. So I think people are just starting to hop on. Hey, Monica, glad you could be here today. Super glad to see you. Well, I can't see you, but you can see me, so welcome to the call. And you can start putting your questions in the feed, and I'll refresh my page to make sure that I can see them. And it looks like Monica, let's see, Maria might be there as well. Let's see if I can pick up the, hey, there it is. I can see the comments now. Hey, Monica, so happy that you're here, and possibly Maria is here as well. And glad to see you guys here. I'm just trying to navigate this. I've got to look. So if I look away, I'm not looking away from you. I have to check my laptop for the comments. Some of the comments are popping up on my phone and other comments are popping up on the computer. I'm not sure why. But today we're going to talk about how to create and fill your group programs. And if you're brand new to coaching, this might be a really, really great way to start having a small practice and helping a lot of people, especially if you want to leverage time. So I'd love to hear your questions. So just type them underneath the video and I'll be able to respond to you. This is all brand new. I actually had a practice run of this technology on Friday. A friend of mine invited me to, let's listen a little better. A friend of mine invited me to do this in one of her groups, and I was able to do a little bit of a practice run, and I had a lot of fun, and I decided, well, maybe I would like to do it in here and see if I can't answer some of your questions about creating group coaching program. Hey, Wendy, glad you're here. Post your questions below. I'm not going to do teaching off the top of my head today. I've been doing a lot of teaching today, so I'm here to answer any questions that you might have about how to find clients, how to enroll them, pricing of your group coaching programs, what to do on a group coaching call. Hey, Allie, glad you're here. Yep, I'd really love to answer your questions, so just start writing away and I'll be checking in the feed for any questions that you might have about coaching programs. It's funny because, there we go. It's the coaching program, a step towards starting your own business. That is a great question. One of the things I did early on when I was a therapist, because I didn't really I really didn't have a lot of time because I was really, really busy seeing my one-on-one coaching clients. And I wanted to create some coaching, group coaching programs so I could serve a lot of people and leverage my time. And so I think it's a great way if you're a new coach to get going. And I do think it's very feasible because you can charge You don't have to charge a lot for it, but you can make it really easy for people to want to be in your group. And I think, actually, Monica, the first step towards creating your own business is knowing who your target market is and knowing who you're going to serve. And if you know that, then you could create it. When I was a therapist, I did create a lot of programs that were live programs or in-person group coaching programs. I had a homework club in my house where I had at one point 16 kids were coming, and I had them in different rooms and people volunteering and helping me. I've done all kinds of different kinds of groups, live and virtual. So, and Wendy, I don't know what that means by waiting till critical mass. I don't think I've ever heard that expression before, so I'm not sure I told you anything about that, but maybe you could explain a little bit more what you mean. Allie, what are good bonuses to offer with the program? So, wow, I mean, that really depends on what you have. One of the things that I have in my program for my mastermind group, which some of the people actually that have joined us today are in the group, and they can definitely chime in if they like what they're getting, is I leverage the program by bringing in experts that makes the program a little more just me leading the group, that I'm bringing in some other people who might be able to do things that I'm not as expert as. So that's a nice bonus to bring in experts in. You can send gifts in the mail, thank yous, a book every once in a while. You can do all kinds of things for your group. You can provide a live get-together, which isn't really a bonus, but it's just something that makes the program more valuable. Wendy's question, would you suggest month-by-month enrollment or a minimum of, say, 3 months? Good question. Let's see. I'm about a continual enrollment because and a big push to get at least 8 to 10 people in my group when I start my group. And then as I have conversations or intro sessions or whatever you want to call them, discovery sessions, I have a lower end program or lower price point program that I can enroll people into. So let's say I'm doing a call and I offer my VIP coaching and the client's like, I can't do that. That's way too much. I can say, well, I have another program that might be a fit for you. Would you like to hear about it? And they'll say yes, of course. And then I'll share that I have this mastermind group or group coaching program, and it's a lower price point. And I can do that all year long. In fact, when I started my mastermind group that's been running since January, originally enrolled 12 people, and then in February a few more people jumped in, and then just last week I had 3 new signups for the group. So I'm going to continue adding people until it's too big, probably, and then I don't know what I'll do. I might divide it into 2 groups or have a different, maybe I'll have, I don't even know yet. I'm building it as what do they say? Building the airplane as I fly it. I might have 3 calls a month so people can come and choose which calls they want to come to, so I can accommodate more and more people to be able to get more intimate help from me. I certainly don't want my group to be so big that people feel like they're not getting attention. I think that's super important too, that people feel like they're getting value from your program. Oh, okay, Wendy. So she has a question. So how do you know how many people to get into your group program? So here's a little ninja strategy that I've been using for a really long time to start my groups. If I don't have a group yet and I'm having conversations, enrollment conversations on the phone with people, I'll say to them, I haven't started the group yet. It's going to start probably in a couple weeks, a month. I'm not sure. But I will coach you at the group rate until the group starts. So if I enrolled somebody at a couple $100s a month for a group coaching program, I would probably give them 2 30-minute sessions a month until the group kicked in. And if for whatever reason, which I don't think will happen to any of you, you're all amazing, but if the group never happened, you still didn't leave any money on the table and you still have some clients and you're not giving a ton of time, but you're also being able to help them as you interview more people and build. And by the time I think you can get to 5 people, I think you're ready to launch your group. I really think it's a little bit teeth pulling and a little bit difficult to do a group with less than 5. Somebody's going to miss, and maybe 2 people will miss, and you'll be down to 3, and then you might have 1 week where you only have 1 person show up, and it's a little awkward. So I kind of like that number. So I always over enroll because people will miss from time to time. A group has 17 members right now, and I think today we had maybe 14 people came or 15 people came. So it was very manageable. Next time, somebody else might miss, and the rest of the people will be there. So, Zana, I don't think you have to wait. I honestly don't think you have to wait to start a group coaching program until after you've created a strong one-on-one practice. And the reason I'm saying that is having a group program is a really great way to enroll people at a lower price point. And then you don't have to worry about trying to sign up like 10 people at $1,000 a month. You can just get right into it if you're comfortable. And I think the best way to get comfortable, at least for yourself, for me, for anybody, is to join a group. If you join a group and you're a member of the group, you can watch what you like about the group. You can replicate that. You can be taking notes from that like meta view of being the participant, but also what would I do if I was the leader of this group? So I don't think you need to wait. I think you can just do whatever you want. It's your business. And if groups are something that you adore and love, then I think you should build them. So the mastermind versus the group coaching program, I think there's a difference. A group coaching program, in my mind, is heavy teaching with the leader coaching individually the person in front of everybody else in the group. The way I run my group, and I call it a mastermind, is I open it up for other members to coach each other. And I encourage them to coach each other in the Facebook group as well, because I think that there's brilliance in a lot of minds, and I may be an expert in some things, but I'm not an expert in everything. I don't know everything. I'm still learning. I'm still a student. So I think when we put all the minds together, we have amazing energy, and that's why I love the what we call the masterminding, or the taking an idea and having people really contribute their experiences. And even today we had our mastermind group this morning. There was a lot of people just raising their hand and giving advice and comments and feedback, and I thought it does make it a richer environment. Wow, I've been talking, and I'm going to breathe now and take a drink of tea and wait for the next question. What other questions do you guys have? Great. So, are you guys interested in being able to start your group without spending a lot of money? Say yes in the... Yeah, okay. I'll talk about pricing in a minute, but let's talk about enrollment for just a second too. Some people think, and some people do this, and if you are able to do this yourself and it's not difficult for you and you really know how to build landing pages and it's not costing you a lot of money, then sure, go ahead, build yourself an opt-in page, build yourself a sales page, do all of that. And if you can do it fast. If it takes you forever to create these pages or you're paying a virtual assistant, I say don't bother until your program is actually up and going. When I started my mastermind group, which I started in January, I started telling people in December, I'm starting a mastermind group. Would you like to hear about it? And I signed people up basically through a phone call or on Facebook through Facebook messaging and by emails with a link for them to click to pay for the group. I kind of used email as a sales page, so I described everything about the group that would be in the group in the email. Now, I have a fairly big list, so I had it was in front of a lot of people, but it really wasn't necessarily in front of the right people. The right people who those first 12 people who came, I think really only one or two of them came through email. The other people came through people I knew through Facebook, through LinkedIn, et cetera, et cetera. I am right now, only now in the beginning of May or mid-May, working on a sales page for this program that already has 18 people in it. On a sales page or on an opt-in page or anything. I didn't spend a dime. It was just me kind of, doing the legwork and talking to people. So I would recommend that if you're going to do something like that, really make sure that you have something that people want to come to and that people will come, and then build your sales page later when you think you might want to really grow it. My next step for my group is to build a webinar and to promote it and to sell it from webinars. And so for that, you totally do need a sales page. You need to be able to send people somewhere and have them opt in, et cetera. So Jim, that's a great question. In the group, how you split time between teaching and interaction. So the first, because I do business coaching, and I've done parenting too, but usually the first couple of groups, when I'm getting it off the ground, I do most of the talking because people are a little uncomfortable. I do it on video now. I used to just do it on the phone, but I love the Zoom aspect. So I think it's important that people feel comfortable, so I like them to have something to do. So in our first session, I gave everybody a handout, which they got with their welcome email, and they came to the call, and we worked on target market and niche, and I had them actually do some writing and then some sharing, so kind of like a workshop where I would teach a little bit, then they would write something, and then I put a little music on, and then they would share it. I also spent a lot of time in the beginning doing introductions, like what's your name, where do you live, do you know what you want to work on this year? And now I kind of go back and forth between, like this morning, I did some stuff on JV partnerships and how to start looking at partners and who you want to help so you can grow your list. And I probably talked about it for 30 minutes, but it was also a discussion, and it was mostly Q&A actually during that 30 minutes, and it might have gone a little longer. And then I just opened it up at the end to hot seat coaching on anything that people want. So again, for business coaching, people have zillions of questions, so it's super easy to fill the time. And if you're a parent coach, there's definitely a lot of time for parents on the call that they'll want to have their particular questions answered. For other niches, there may be as well, but you'd have to test that out and see what felt comfortable to you. And then, like I said before, probably every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, I'll bring an expert in, and I can sit back and let the expert teach. And I've expanded those expert calls to 2 hours, so there's plenty of time for the presentation, for Q&A, and then for some hot seat coaching around that topic or something else. Let's see. Susanna, it really depends. Susanna says, what do you think is an ideal length of group coaching program that could keep people focused and engaged and not lose their interest? Business coaching, I think you could probably go on for 10 years and not lose people's interest as long as the group is moving and there's momentum. In our group, just in the past 4 months, we've had one person who created her own mastermind, watched what I did, learned from me, and just went for it and had her first meeting this past week with 10 people in a mastermind for women leaders. Another person in my group was able to already, in the first 4 months, had never had a client, was not a business coach, declared she was going to be a business coach, and 2 weeks ago signed up her first client and helped her business coaching client sign up his first client as well. And there were many other stories. We had somebody who was approached by Google to make an app for parents. We have somebody who's launching her second book. We have somebody who's brand new who doesn't even know her niche yet, and she's got a long way to go. So I think you're always going to bring people in at various levels of experience. And for business coaching, I think a year-long mastermind is the right amount of time. For parenting, I probably would do something like 4 to 6 months, and you could do a little program teaching and then some open coaching, something like that. I think that this group that I have is probably not going to lose interest ever. I think that it's very dynamic. There's a lot of people. And again, they're going to just build on their experience over and over and over again and have more and more questions for the next level of what they're doing. For myself, I've been in a mastermind group for a couple of years now, and I actually can't imagine not having it. I can't imagine not having that group to get the feedback and to get coaching from the leader of the group as well. Jim, do you plan weekly sessions? So my group is two 90-minute sessions a month. I thought that was enough, and it seems to be working really, really well, and people make it. And I do record everything, and I do send out the recording in the afternoon if someone's missed, so people can catch up, the people that might have been on vacation or away or whatever. And it seems to work really, really well for the business coaching. You could do it every week. You could do 3 times a month. It really depends on how much you want to work. And again, if you're charging higher fees, you might want to have more calls. If you're charging lower fees, you have to make it the value matches what you want to give and what people expect from what they're doing, working with you as well. What other questions do you all have? This is really great. I'm feeling like I'm able to answer lots of questions here for you. Looks like we have a lot of people on this call. It's really fun. I've never been on a Facebook Live, so I don't know what it looks like for you guys. I'm only knowing that I'm looking at my cell phone, and the last time I did this, the questions were not popping up on my cell phone, so I had to look at my computer, but this time I feel like I can look straight at the camera, which is really, really nice. What other questions do y'all have for me? Somebody asked about pricing. Let's see, would you like to know about pricing? Great. Okay, Jim, how big is your list group you solicited for your mastermind? So Jim, again, I really did this on my feet. I Facebook messaged people and asked them, in Facebook, hey, I'm starting something. Are you interested? Would you like to hear about it? I do have a pretty big email list, but it's my email list from Parent Coaching, and there are probably, I would say, a list of about 10,000 people. On that list, I know for sure that there are about 1,000 people that are professionals. Of those professionals, some of them are teachers, some of them are in other, in other professions, not necessarily private practice or having their own business. And then there's probably another, I don't know, 1,000 on my list that are coaches and therapists. So probably, I don't know, safe to say, maybe there was 2,000 people on my list who might have been a good prospect to come into my group. But you know as well as I do that you can have a really big list, but the open rate, which means how many people open your email, is a whole nother story. So I don't know how many of those people in those professions, since my list when I started it wasn't segmented and I'm starting to segment it now. I don't really know how many people it was a fit for or wasn't. I just know that there was a couple of people through email that said, hey, I want to do this. But the bulk of the people that I enrolled for my mastermind was through being in different Facebook groups, getting to know people, being in a coaching community myself, getting to know people, building relationships, contacting people on LinkedIn who had looked at my profile and asking them, did they want to have a one-on-one Zoom call with me? Not with necessarily any intentions of signing them up, but just getting to know them. And all of a sudden they're saying, oh, you have that? I'd like to join it. So definitely, I think you can really do this grassroots. You don't even have to have a list. Honestly, you don't have to have a list to start a group. So let's talk about money for a minute. If you have never done a group before online, and I kind of felt like I was starting over in a way as well. I had done many groups in the past for parents, but that was probably, I don't know, 2008, 2009, 2010. And when I did group coaching programs then, I really did a time-limited 12-week group coaching program. And I honestly I think I charged $300 a month or something for weekly sessions, group coaching sessions, and there might have been like 12 of them. I don't work that intensely anymore, but that was what I did then. Now, my goal was to really help people who were really wanting something, wanting some support, but my goal wasn't so much to make, quote, a lot of money. Like, that wasn't important to me. What was important to me was that I could prove that I could do this and that I could fill a group and that it would continue to grow. So for a first step, what I priced my group coaching program at was $199 times 12 payments, or a full pay of $2,000. There were some people that came in that was still difficult for. And I was able in the beginning during the early bird phase to give some special pricing to those people as well. Not doing that now because the group is underway and pretty much people coming in now are still paying that price. What I think I've proven the concept that it's pretty easy to sign people up for $199 times 12 payments or $1997 for the full year. It's kind of a no-brainer. And most people opted for the full pay because they were going to save about $400. So in the future, probably the next time I launch this in a bigger way, I may raise the price because I already know that I'm successful at this price. On the other hand, I may just keep growing it because I know it's easy to do it at this price. So for if you're new, make it a no-brainer. Make it like, what would I pay that wouldn't hurt my pocketbook, that would give people some skin in the game so that they would still come, and how can I make it so over-the-top valuable that they don't feel like they're in scarcity, because I don't want them to feel. I want them to feel completely loved, taken care of, like they're in a $10,000 program or a $60,000 program. That's how I want people to feel. And I hope that that is what I'm providing for the members of my group, because that's how I would want to be treated, no matter how much I was paying. So that's basically how I did it to start off. Jim has another question. Do you create a topic list for future sessions? I've brainstormed a bunch of things that I want to do throughout the year, and usually a week before I'll think about, okay, what do I want to do on the next call? If I know that I'm going to have an expert, then it's kind of like my week off. But then I also have to think about like what I want my expert to do, and I'll usually have a private call with my expert. So far, I've had a copywriter who came on and looked at everybody's whatever they wanted. She did a little bit of teaching about how to write an opt-in page, websites that wanted people to look at their stuff, and that was super valuable. People loved it. And then I had another expert who was actually a member of my group, which I like to help that some of my group members rise up as well, who taught us about an exceptional customer experience. And that was really valuable as well. Lots of wonderful tips on how to treat the people in your group coaching programs, your individual coaching programs, your VIP clients, and how to make people feel really, really special so they continue to work with you and refer to you as well. Awesome. Love these questions, guys. You guys are awesome. So Monica, so the coaching program is not specific to any profession? No, Monica, you could do a program for parents of children with special needs. You might have a little bit of difficulty doing such a program in that parents with children with special needs don't have a lot of free time because they're overburdened. They're usually working, they're taking care of their kids. When they're not taking care of their kids, they're doing shopping. They're taking care of their kids more than other people are taking care of their kids. But I'm not saying it's not possible, but it might be interesting to survey them, possibly find out if they were going to have a call, what time that call would want to be. When I did my parenting programs, I did them from 8 o'clock till 9:30 in the evening, East Coast time. And if you're doing something, across the world or across the country, you have to take into account different time zones. I did one of my programs on Sunday evenings, which really was really, really nice. I did have a pretty high attendance for parents. 7 o'clock on Sunday, sometimes even 4 o'clock on Sunday. The kids were wiped out. They were watching a video, and mom was able to tune into, her parenting program on Sunday afternoon. And that is, again, it's really, you might want to sign everybody up, then do a survey and pick the time that's the best time for most of the people. You can do that as well. What other questions do you guys have about groups? What else would you guys like to know? How do you get people to respond to your surveys? Great question. So I usually have a subject line, name, comma, can you help me out? Something like that. Or something funny in the subject line that they have to, I just need a minute of your time. And then in the survey, I only ask one question. And I say it will only take you, or three questions, three simple questions. It will only take you 30 seconds to open this, to open the email and answer the questions. How old are your children? What's your biggest challenge? And would you be interested in getting some help? Something like that. Super, super easy. But it's really, Harsimrat, so happy you're here. Getting them to respond to a survey is actually getting them to open the email. So if you can get people to open the email, they'll do the survey. The last survey I did was a question about something I was thinking about doing, some kind of a newsletter. And I got about 70 people to respond to me, which was a nice, a nice amount of feedback. The other thing you can do, and this is even easier than doing like a Survey Monkey, is in the subject line, 1 minute of your time or whatever, and then when they open it, ask them a question and say, what's your biggest challenge for whatever your issue is? Hit reply and tell me. And that is so easy because they don't have to open something and go to another link. And then it'll just all come back into your email. And it's also a way to have your emails whitelisted which means that person's email, your email, when you send it to them through your email provider, won't get thrown into their spam folder. It will come up in their primary email folder, especially if they have Gmail. So you always want to do that once in a while with your list to make sure that they actually are getting your emails, and it will actually increase your open rate. And if you're having a conversation with the people on your list, they actually think you're a person. I've gotten some emails from people and they're like, I can't believe you're writing, like you responded to me with a happy face, or I can't believe you're like writing back to me. I didn't really think you were a real person, you know? So, you know, we know that we're not gods, right? We know that we're like regular people just figuring it out. But the people we're writing to probably think we're celebrities. So if they can have like a moment of your time, or you take the time to answer an email with even just a happy face, you've probably made that person's day and made them feel super important and special. And they're more apt to come to your next webinar, purchase your book, maybe sign up for coaching with you, or come to one of your programs. So totally get into a conversation. And again, the easiest way is just hit reply and tell me. I did a thing at it was really fun. In February on Valentine's Day, I said the subject line was, and you can all use this next February, it's fine. If you don't open this email, you'll break my heart. Well, I can't tell you, it was like my highest open rate. And then on the inside, I said, if you respond with the word love, I will send you a free program. And I sent them, I think I sent them an entire CD that I had made a long time ago on relaxation techniques. It was meditations and all kinds of stuff. And they were like so grateful. And it was something that I'm not selling anymore, so it felt like a really great thing to be able to give away. And even after February 14th, I was, months went by and I got a couple of them. I guess some people just never open their emails and they wait for like 6 months and then they start opening their emails and claiming their prizes. But I still, you know, let them have the prize. And I think that that type of goodwill is really great, because then when you do go to promote something, those people are more happy about supporting you and seeing what you have, because you've already given them something really valuable. Hope that answered your question, Harsimrat, and then some. Who else has a question? Love to answer your questions on groups and masterminds and pricing and enrollment. So we didn't talk about platform. You can do groups in all different ways. You can do them on a free conference line if you don't want to spend any money and you don't want to see them. That would be a telephone conference line, and free conference line, freeconference.com, something like that. And then there's Instant Teleseminar, which I do use, but not for group coaching anymore. I use them for other types of calls that I want to record, but I used to use them for group coaching. And I also use, now I use Zoom. Zoom.us, which is an extremely inexpensive platform. It's about $129 for the year. It looks just like this, except everybody looks like they're in Hollywood Square boxes. You can see everyone, you can record the video. So if you're doing something special with PowerPoint, you can send people the video or the movie of it. You can grab the audio recording from it when it's over. But what I really find that's awesome about it is that it really, really, really does create community. And people see each other and get to know each other in a way that you just can't have over the phone. And so if you are going to do a group coaching program, I would recommend using something like Zoom, or if you like something like Google Hangouts, I think you can use that kind of platform as well. What other questions do you have about groups? Yeah, Wendy, right. There's a chat in the Zoom that people can type in questions, and then I can read the questions out, or that you can private message people while the Zoom is going on. and all of that. And it also helps build community too, because people can share their comments. Awesome. What else, guys? Who's still here? I can't tell who's still here. I love that question, Jim. Do you look for an audience that needs your help or select the group because you know they need help? um, kind of wondering if it's sort of the same thing. Not really, but I think if you know your target market, I knew that I wanted to help people that were in coaching or in therapy or something like that, who were creating programs, or let's say who weren't creating programs, or who were selling their hours for dollars, right? And I really wanted to help people see that there was a different way to work where you could leverage your time and definitely make some more money as well. And so, because I used to be a therapist and technically still am with my license, I felt like I could go into that community because I know their pains and their frustrations. They work 9-hour days. They get paid very little money because of the insurance companies have capped the amount that you can earn. And they have the skills that they could slide right into coaching and completely change their lives and be released from working, really working for someone else, because when you're working for an insurance company and getting paid by them, you're not really your own boss. There's lots of rules and stuff. So I knew that that group was viable. I also had a lot of experience with people coming to me over the past 10 years, watching me get out of it and move into coaching, saying, Susan, how did you do it? Would you coach me? And so over the years, I've worked with many, many, many therapists who wanted to get out of the therapy model, counselors, teachers, other people who wanted to have more freedom and have a coaching business. So for me, it was like, this is my niche. And I've had other niches as well over the years. Most of you know I've been a parenting coach for a long, long time too. And that was more about like my skill set. Like when I picked that niche, it was like, well, I know I was a play therapist and a family therapist, and I know how to do that, so I could help parents. And they do have problems, and they do have problems with their children with disrespectful behaviors and kids out of control and parents yelling and screaming. And I knew that I had the tools to help them. And I did that for a really, really long time. And I still do have that business, but I've hired a coach to help me with that part of the business, so I can now reach out and coach other people so that they can coach more people. So that's kind of my new niche right now. So again, I think it's whatever moves you, whatever you feel like you're good at, you have a skill set, you want to help people with it, you could teach it. Those are always great ways to create groups or even look for individual clients. Wendy. Well, yeah. Wendy, I do know a lot of people doing all groups. Christian Michelson, I mean, he might have an individual client right now, but I think he set his fees so high that he probably doesn't. I think that possibly Milana and Rich and some of the bigger marketing gurus out there have leveraged their business so much that they aren't doing any individual coaching themselves anymore. They're running on big giant groups or hiring other people to coach for them, so that they can really do the teaching and the program creation and all of those things. So yeah. I definitely could see myself doing a lot more groups in the future because I'm having such a high success rate right now. Jessica, would it be best to create an outline for a course that would be used as the basis for the group coaching and develop the course over time, or create the course before starting the group coaching? So again, if you want to do a real coaching group, you really don't have to develop a lot of curriculum. If you want to create a program, you can teach a program a 5-week program and then upsell at the end of the program. Hey, would you like to continue the conversation? I'd love to help you lock in all the learning we just did in the past 5 weeks. Let's come to my group coaching program and we'll just continue the conversation. So that's what I would do there. Jim, great question. So I launched the mastermind program in January or December, January. And then I launched another program called my Laser Coaching Program, which is sort of a mini coaching program delivered over time, over an entire year, but very short sessions, really designed to deliver, answer a question, get you on track, move you to the next piece. And the interesting thing was that 4 or 5 people in the mastermind group clicked the link and bought the coaching, the individual coaching, to go along with the mastermind because they thought it would be a nice mini program for them. So, and then I do have 3 or 4 VIP clients that are coaching with me individually for business coaching, and they are I've given them the mastermind program as a bonus. So because they're paying such high fees to me, that's sort of like a bonus that they get to come into the program. And just recently that happened. A woman who was in the mastermind emailed me and said, hey, I really need more than, I love the group coaching, but I want to move fast. Can I hire you individually? And she did. So yes, it does happen. Let's see, did I miss a question? I think I'm caught up here. Yeah, I mean, if you did, if you had 2 or 3 groups going, you could easily make $10,000 a month. Just think about it. You know, if you have 10 people in your group paying $200 a month, that's $1,000. And if you had 20 people in your group, you know, that's $2,000. So, or more. No, it's 2 or 4,000. I'm doing the wrong math. I'm really, don't come to me for math. Do not, no. That is why I went into social work. I do not do math. But you see what I'm saying. 10 times 100 is 1,000. 200 times 10 is 2,000. So you can really, and knowing if people are paying, you know, monthly or they're paying in a full pay, it doesn't really matter because you could really do $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 a year alone in groups and only work like, I don't know, 8 hours a month, right? I mean, you could, if I took the group that I'm doing, which is 3 hours a month of coaching, and I did 3 more of those groups, I could just have that be, I mean, unless I, you know, if I wanted to stay at that amount of money, I could just have that be my income if that's what my goal was for my business. So totally a moneymaker, and I knew that a long time ago because when I had my private practice for therapy, when I did the homework club and I had the 16 kids coming twice a week, and I think I was only charging them $35, you know, to come and do their homework and have some social skills training. My income went up a lot as a therapist. I was really able to start making some money. And then I had another group coaching program or group therapy program for moms, and I had something else for teenagers. And I started really leveraging my time so that I didn't have to be doing those 9-hour days, and I had some free time. So groups are really the way to serve a lot of people, lower your price point, and actually give yourself free time. I mean, those are I think the 3 reasons that I love them. And if you love the energy of a group too, it's really exciting. There's always something going on. Somebody's always got something to contribute, and people really love to be part of a community. I think that's like another yes, do a group, because you create something that people can belong to. You create deep relationships that last for years and years and years and years, for yourself with them and also for them with each other. Think about the groups that you've been in your life, you know, whether it's through being in college if you were in the dorm, or doing a group, a group in your church or your synagogue, or being doing a project in your community and you get together as a group volunteering. There's something about it that makes people feel super happy and that they're contributing, they're giving. And if you can be a leader for that, you can really help people make change really quickly. And I think in a lot of ways, a lot faster than individually. So a lot of reasons to do a group coaching program or some type of group program, mastermind, or even live if you're doing groups. Zana, if starting with no email list, how would you market group coaching? Through Facebook? Would you do a webinar or something else? You might have missed the beginning of the call. Zana, I was saying that I didn't market it really. I just started approaching people that I knew and said, hey, I'm doing a group. It's starting in a month. I thought you'd be a really, really, really great fit for my group. Would you like to come? And usually it was, well, when's it going to be? How much does it cost? And then I would say, let's get on the phone and I'll tell you about it. And that is how I started it. In December, I did not have a dedicated business coaching list. I had a list of 10,000 parents. Again, I said some of those people were professionals. I didn't know who they were. So I didn't want to send an email to that list and tell them I was going to have a business coaching group. I thought they probably wouldn't like that. That wasn't what their thing was. So I said, well, let me start with what we call low-hanging fruit, people who are my friends, people who I know from coaching community, people I know in other Facebook groups who are sitting there. So what I'll do is I'll sit on Facebook at night when I'm hanging out on the couch or during the day if I have free time and look at who's lit up. And if I know them, I'll say, hey, hi, how are you doing? What are you up to? Doing anything fun? I'm starting a group coaching program. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be for people that are like X, Y, and Z. Would you like some information? Jim, that's a great question. I didn't use free sessions that sell for this because it was a pretty low price point. I figured I could create enough excitement around it, and I knew there was a need people to be supported because people buy a lot of programs these days, coaches, and then the programs start getting dusty, on the bookshelf, and people want support. And I knew that I could offer the support and that I had proven that I had a business that was successful and that people would want to work with me. So I didn't have to. But certainly I plan on, when I'm doing intro calls or free sessions with people that I'm thinking might be a VIP client for me, I will definitely take them through the free sessions that sell. Some of you might call that a discovery call, whatever you use for your script to that free session that you give. And then if the VIP working with me alone is too high a price point, I'll say, well, I have something else. Would you like to hear about it? And then I would share my program and most likely be able to use the free sessions to sign them up. Jim, great question. So I had people who started in January and we did all that target market stuff, dream documents, all kinds of fun stuff like that. And so the people that came in February had only missed 2 calls. So I sent them the recordings to that. Now that we're in for 4 months, it's like a lot of recordings. So and a lot of the calls weren't necessarily teaching calls. So I didn't want to like bog people down with a lot of recordings. So what I'm doing right now is pulling together some of the handouts and doing a catch-up call. And that's another bonus that I decided I might be doing going forward is for new people coming into my program, give them, maybe a half hour, 30 minutes, an hour, I don't even know, time with me to define that target market if they don't have one yet. And so catch them up on some of the things that maybe they missed in the first few calls, and so that they feel more caught up to the rest of the group in terms of their progress. So Faith, I started with my group coaching program for business parents? What are some options? Maybe I've missed that tech issue. So years ago, I did group coaching or group therapy for mothers, for children, for teenagers, all kinds of stuff. That was live in person in my office. When I became a coach, I started doing group coaching for parents because my niche was parenting coaching. Now I've leveraged myself so much that I'm doing group coaching calls or group coaching program. My Powerful Experts Mastermind program is for therapists, coaches, and healers who want to get to six figures. So I've done probably every single kind of group, and I belong to a couple of high-end mastermind groups myself, and I'm kind of watching and seeing what happens. One of them is a leadership program, and one of them is building a coaching business program. So I have definitely been a member of several groups over the years as well, so kind of know that you can do this really for any niche, as long as the people want to come together and talk about those challenges that they're having and create momentum and change and transformation. You guys have awesome questions. This is super fun. Are you liking this? If you're liking this, put yes in the chat box so I know that you're liking this. Or put a thumbs up for me. Let me know that you're here and that you're listening and that you like it. And I've got yes, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Hey, Faith. Glad to see you here. Awesome. Hey, Wendy. So, I've got like a few more minutes left, about 4, and some of you are in my mastermind that are on this group. Some of you are my laser coaching clients, and I'm so happy that you're here as well. And some of you I just know from Facebook, or I know through other venues, and I'm super happy that you're here. I do have room in my mastermind group for a few more people. I'm not sure when I'm going to cap it. Starting to get full on the Zoom call. So if you're interested in actually being part of a group coaching program, so that's the best way to know if you want to do one and how to learn how to do one is to join. I said earlier on the call, if you just came in, one of my clients in the call decided that she was going to create her own mastermind and had her first group this past week. She signed up 10 people. She used the system that I explained to you today, and she's flying with her mastermind. And actually, she's charging more than I charged. So I was like, go you. Like, that was like so exciting for me. And I remember hearing one of my coaches say, I knew that I had to make some, changes in my business when I was helping people make more money than I was making. So that'll be really, really, really fun if any of you decide that you want to, would like to join our mastermind group. Mastermind, it's more of a back and forth with the group supporting each other rather than me being the complete authority. So I believe everybody has something to offer, that the power of the group for helping each other, for working together. We have a very active Facebook group where people post their offers, they post everything that they're working on, they get help, people support each other. I'm also doing a live mastermind 2-day program at my house in June, and when I first said I was going to do it, I think 2 people said they were coming, and now I think like there's 10 people coming, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's 10 people coming. I've got 3 people flying, 2 people from Seattle and a person from Palo Alto and somebody from Atlanta, and a bunch of people from Connecticut and Massachusetts and all over the country are coming to Connecticut, to my house, to work with me for a couple of days and go to the beach with me, and we're going to have a boat ride, and we're going to do some girl stuff. It's women right now. Men haven't come to us yet, but we're not really sure why, but we're attracting a bunch of women. Jim, I don't know about you, but maybe, who knows, maybe you, at some point you'll be the first guy in the Powerful Experts. So yeah, I love it. So hopefully, Faith, you've got the difference. The group coaching, I think, is more didactic. I would probably teach, and then I would coach you, and then I would coach the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and I wouldn't open up the call for other people to coach each other, and I wouldn't encourage that. So it's a little bit more controlling. Mastermind is, I like to think that me creating this community, that people will have relationships with each other outside of the group. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to start to do things together as well and create all kinds of strategic alliances and things like that. That's great, Jim. I don't know. You're a nice guy. We might let you in. We'll have to talk if you really want to come. But again, love you all, and thank you for coming. We're right at the top of the hour, and it says I've been on an hour. Actually, 3 more minutes. Why don't you guys give me a little feedback here? There's a few of you left still. Maybe you can post what you liked about this experience, since it's pretty new for all of us, this Facebook Live. Would you want me to do it again? What other topics would you want me to teach? It is kind of one way because I'm doing the talking and you're doing the posting. But yeah, I'd love to maybe do this once a month for you guys and get to know you and you get to know me. And I'm so happy that you're all in my my Facebook group, which I only started in February. And I've really enjoyed getting to know you all, and I'd love to get to know you better. If anyone here doesn't know me well and isn't part of one of my programs already, and you'd like to get on a Zoom call with me and talk about your business and my business and exchange, I'd love to set up a call with you. Just PM me on Facebook and we'll set up a call to get to know each other. Would love to meet you in person on a Zoom call. If you live in Connecticut, you can come over. I don't know where y'all live, but I think all over the world. I think Jim's in Canada. Wendy's in Mass. I don't know Zana, where you live. I know, Faith, you live in Florida, I think. You're all over the country. So happy to have you all today. I hope you have a really great night. Again, thanks again for coming. This will be up in the Facebook group forever. It stays in this room. You can watch it again. And the comments are going to be there as well. So you can scroll through and I will come back. And again, you can keep the conversation going in the comments and let me know what you'd like to, another topic you'd like to have. Hey, Diane, I'm just finishing up. Glad you're here. Glad I can see you. You guys are so awesome. Love you all. See you next time. Bye-bye.